And indeed, looks like this time we've got a game. We've got a game, boys, here. So let's take a look at the civilizations first. I will take a look at the Brazilians first. We've got here Fire playing with Vikings. There's Goku playing Chinese. There's Dogon playing Mayans. And there's Riot playing Persians. Take a look at what happened with the Argentinians. Looks like they went for the exact same civs as far as I can see. It's Persians for FedEx. It's Vikings for Juan. It's Mayans for Gary. It's Chinese for Nick Koff. So I will stick with Fire's point of view for now at the very beginning and just leave the fog of war on because it's quite hard to actually follow the game at the very start of Nomad. Let's just try to understand where the dock is. Yeah, this is the Nomad map. But okay, I never seen this kind of generation in the Nomad map. This is quite confusing to me. So looks like there are two separate islands. Quite an interesting Nomad map, to be honest. Looks like there is two separate islands. They are sort of connected right here and right here, so players can cross through this shallow waters, but quite an interesting generation here. This could actually lead to a very nice match. Let's try to understand which players are on which islands here. So I'm right now on the point of view of Fire. Fire seems to be right here. As you can see on my mini-map, that's on the top island. He's got Goku in his side, as far as I can see. Indeed, Goku's got a TC right here. Dogon seems to be there as well. Riot, what about Riot? Where is Riot? Riot is in that island as well, so good job here by the Brazilians. Looks like all of them have stayed in the same island. Let's switch to the Argentinians' point of view. I can see Nikov with a TC up already. Nice job here by Nikov. He's on the South Island. What about his teammates? Yeah, look, okay, something quite weird. Fire indeed is not on the top island, only the dock is. For some reason, he moved down with the rest of the villagers. So Fire seems to be a little bit in enemy territory here, but let's try to understand where the other players are. We've got here two very close DCs here, to be fair, from the Argentinians. That's FedEx, and that's Juan, quite close to each other. Have to wonder why exactly are they doing this, but anyway. Two TCs right here, only one player missing, that's Gary. So Gary is as well on the South Island. So indeed, there's something quite interesting here. Fire seems to have placed his town center in enemy territory, and this could mean trouble for him, especially if the Argentinians realize how the map looks like and they try to close, to block the passage right here. I will have to assume the players do know exactly how this looks like. There's a villager here from FedEx. There's a villager from Fire. Looks like that is the one who was building the dock. Coming back to the TC, this would be so good for the Argentinians if they actually spot where Fire is. Let me go to the point of view of FedEx. That would be so important for them. Yeah, looks like he cannot see the villager from Fire. Yeah, he cannot see it. So for the time being, they won't be able to spot anything from Fire. Maybe Nikov here. Maybe Nikov here. Looks like he will be able to see. Let me take a look. Making a house. I will have to think that he was able to see that villager for sure. Let's go over there. Yeah, he can see one villager. So if they realize how the map looks like, this could be really, really important for them and for the outcome of the match. Fire could indeed be in very hard trouble here. Trying to wall a little bit already to make sure that he will stay safe for the time being. To be really fair, it looks like walling is indeed a possibility here for Fire. He could wall a little bit right here. A little bit right here as well, and that will be fine for him. Looks like he will be able to take down a villager from FedEx. This was within the legal rules. That was minute 6, so it is allowed to kill villagers after minute 5, so nothing wrong was done here by the Brazilian team. But then again, looks like the Argentinians know damn well where Fire is, and they will surely realize that he is indeed in their territory, and this could be really important to them, and they could try to get the advantage from that fact. Let's try to understand what is happening in the water. I can see a dock here. This dock is from Goku, so as far as I can see, there's two docks from the Brazilians. Let's try to take a look at that. Goku's got one dock here. I could see one dock for Fire. There's one from Juan, and as far as I can see, that's it. No, Dogon's got one here at the top as well. What about Riot? Riot does not seem to have a dock at this point. Trying to search a little bit more. No, he does have a dock as well. So most of the players have docked, and indeed they could play this sort of like a team islands. It does look to me like the map generation could help that fact. Let's wait and see what exactly are they going to try and do. Taking a look at the populations, Gary seems to be doing quite nicely with Mayans. He's got 20 population, closely followed by Nikov with Chinese 19 population. Looks like the Brazilian team is a little bit delayed, especially Fire. Fire only with 14 population here. He is playing with the Vikings. That's not good for him at all. Looks like he was able to find a couple of boards here, so good job by Fire. Let's take a look at his point of view. Try to understand if he knows what's around him. Indeed, he was able to find those 3 boards. Nice job here by Fire. He does need to have a nice start, which, to be fair, he does not seem to be having at this very point. He's got loom, so again, I guess that sort of compensates for the lack of villagers. He does need loom to get those villagers from so far away, those boards from so far away. A couple of docks here at the back from the Argentinians as well. I'm really interested to see what exactly are they going to do about Fire. They know exactly that Fire is right here, quite next to him. And taking a look at the chat here, Nikov is claiming he's going to do a smush. You would have to assume he's going to do a smush on Fire. That means Fire could be in very, very tough situation here. He will have to count on his teammates to help, which indeed does not seem that is going to do. Looks like Dogong is going to try and completely close the passages here between the islands. Goku is doing the exact same thing here on the right side. I'm not sure I like this a lot. This would mean Fire will be completely alone here. A complete with no help from his teammates. Indeed, that could be a very, very hard situation for the Brazilian team, especially for Fire. Let's take a look at what Riot is going to do. Riot was the first one to click the feudal age. A very strong uptime by Riot here. Looks like he clicked at 10 minutes. It's quite fast. Though considering his Persians of course have a very strong start in this kind of maps. They start with more food, they start with more wood as well. So they can place their TCs a lot faster. Looks like he's dropping a couple more of docks. So seems to me like Riot will be the one going for a galley rush here. And indeed, considering how the map looks like, there's so much water around it. Going for a galley looks like it could be a very nice option here indeed. Juan will be following him closely. He will be the second one to get to feudal age. Where is his dock? He's got one dock over here. Does he have a second one? As far as I can see, there's no second dock from Juan. Well, at least not in the front. There's one here at the back. But that means that it looks like the control of the middle water right here will be quite early under the control of the Brazilian team here. And does not look like the Argentinians are actually going to fight for that. Maybe later on into the game, but not for the time being. They won't be fighting for that control of the water. A couple of galleys being made here by Riot. He's got 3 docks, as you can see. All of them are producing. Let me take a look at what he can see. Yeah, he can see exactly where the next island starts, so he sort of knows where he wants to attack, I guess. He does know where Juan is as far as I can see. Yeah, you can see the docks here from Juan. That's exactly where he's heading. He's going to try and start getting rid of those fishing boats from Juan. Quite unfortunate here for the Argentinians. Looks like they will lose their fish here on the forward side of the lake. Maybe at some point they will try to reclaim it, because many of them were trying to dock here at the back. As you can see, there's a couple of docks here from a couple of Argentinian players. A side dock here from Nikov as well. I will switch into the point of view of Juan, try to understand what will he do against this. Indeed, he's trying to mass a couple of galleys here. He won't have any chance to stop Riot at this point in game, because Riot was so much faster. He's got more galleys. He's a little bit closer to the action point as well. But there's no chance that actually Juan is going to be able to stop this rush here from Riot. Bringing in a couple of galleys is Juan here. Looks like he will try to get a couple of fishing boats from the Brazilians. He does not know where to bring them to, unfortunately for him. He cannot see those fishing boats from Goku. That would be quite nice for him, but he was not able to see that. To wonder what exactly is he going to go with those. So far, just waiting for a couple of reinforcements. He's got a couple of galleys down here. Probably they're going to be heading straight to the action at some point. There he is. Needs to go quite a fair bit around the whole island, so a little bit unfortunate for him. Clicking up to Castle Age is Gary and Nikov here. So indeed looks like the Argentinians are going to be the first ones to get to the Castle H. None of the Brazilians so far has been able to click up to Castle H. Only Goku has been able to click to Feudal H. Quite a little bit delayed here is Goku. And FedEx is the third player to go to Castle H. Once more, no Brazilian player at this point has managed to click to Castle H, so that could be a major problem here for them. Let's take a look how Ria takes care of this. He's got a couple of galleys. He needs to protect his teammate Goku. Goku is still on Dark H, about to reach Feudal Age, and looks like Juan's got a couple of galleys here. It's a 4v4 situation if I'm not mistaken. Riot is doing the fletching. Looks like Juan does not want to do that himself. He's going to try and chase a couple of those fishing boats here by Riot. Nice job here by Juan. He knows he cannot actually win the fight, so he wants to snipe a couple of fishing boats. Nice job indeed by Juan. He's doing everything he can with a small number of galleys that he's got at this point. Looks like he will be able to try and actually engage in this fight. Reed has got more galleys. He's got the +1 upgrade. You would have to think that he will indeed be able to win this fight here. I really want to take a look at Nick Hobbs' point of view because I just heard him saying that he's going for a smush, and you will have to assume that he's going to be on smush on fire here, and that is where the trouble for the Brazilians could start here. You can see a whole lot of villagers from Nick Hobbs on gold. He's going to throw a siege workshop. There it is. I'm expecting to see a monastery anytime soon. Looks like he went for a second TC first of all. Maybe the monastery will follow closely, but I do have to wonder, how will Fire be able to stop this? He's still on Feudal Age, nowhere near Castle Age. He didn't even click. Dogon seems to be the first one from the Brazilians to actually click to Castle Age. Riot himself was not able to do so, and Goku has managed to do that just now. Let's try to understand what is Nikao going to do here. One mangonel is gonna be made, one already coming out of that siege workshop, 2 mangonels incoming, and I really expect to see a monastery at some point. I did see him saying at some point in game that he's going to do a smush. Usually players by smush mean a monk and siege rush, and he does have a whole lot of villagers here on the gold. Looks like FedEx is going to help him with a couple of knights right here. Fire needs to desperately try to wall this. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. Tries to throw a couple of stone walls. FedEx was not fast enough, so I do think that Fire will be able to stop that. There it is. The stone walls are up. They are not completely finished, so it looks like that won't be much of a barrier here for Nikha with a couple of mangonels to just break in. He's even got a couple, a little bit of a hill right here, so he will be able to kill those stone walls with no problem. Fire sending in a couple of more villagers, maybe trying to wall the back. He's going to throw a tower. I'm not sure if that is going to be enough to stop the mangonels here from Nikov. Nikov moving in with them once more. FedEx a little bit delayed here with the knights. Yeah, you can see Nikov being a little bit mad with his teammate. He's saying, wake up, FedEx. Once more, was a little bit late, but killing so many villages from fire is Nikov here with those mangonels. He's even bringing in a third one. Monastery being dropped at the same time. And do keep in mind the Chinese actually have quite nice monks that can research redemption, for example. That is quite important in some situations. A couple more villages from fire desperately trying to close this. The only good thing here for the Brazilians, in my opinion, is that the Argentinians were not able to close the passage from the side, so Dogon could just walk in any time. He seems to be the first one from the Brazilians to get to Castle H, and Fire does need to count on the help of Dogon to try to defend from this. He's trying to throw more stone walls. He's very low population here, 40 population. And he's doing a nice job so far. Once more, FedEx seems to be a little bit late. There's an opening now. This is the time where FedEx actually wants to go in with the Knights. Once more, being a little bit late, and Nikov just loses one mangonel. And once more, FedEx seems to be sleeping. There he is. Fire is just trying to throw a couple more walls. That house is not going to last very long. It looks like anytime soon, Nikov and FedEx will be able to go in. Try to take a look at what exactly are they doing here. Nikov with a couple of plumed archers. Maybe he will be sending them to fire anytime soon as well. So this is going to be a 3 versus 1 on fire here. I do have to wonder if any of his teammates is going to try and help him. As far as I can see, there's no such thing happening here. I don't see anyone throwing any military at fire. Maybe Dogon. Dogon is playing with Mayans. He's got a couple of plumed archers. He's not sending them. At least not yet. That means once more, this is going to be such a hard spot here for Fire. I'm not sure if he will be able to save any kind of villagers. He seems to be massing a couple of galleys right here on the water, but he is a lot more concerned about what's happening on the land. And indeed, there's no chance for him to stop these mangonels. He's still on feudal age, nowhere near castle age as far as I can see. He needs to rely on his teammates to come in. Only 2 plumed archers from Dogon coming in at this point. Those are not going to be enough. That's for sure. And if at some point the Argentinians actually try to close that passage right there, that is going to be even worse for the Brazilians. I'm going to take a look really fast at the achievements to make sure that I'm not missing any slaying. No, there's no slaying happening in this game. So indeed, this is Fire in a very tough situation here. I do wonder if Goku will be sending something anytime soon. He's got a stable here, but it's just so far away that I'm not sure if he's going to be... Oh, indeed, he's got a couple of knights right there. Nikov has got a couple of monks. He needs to convert them really fast. One of them has been converted. So nice job here by Nikov. He was able to kill at least 2 of those knights. He converted 2 of those knights. The last one, Mangonel, in the process, wasn't quite able to convert the 3rd knight, but once more, this is Fire in a very tough spot here. Dogon needs to bring in a couple more of plumed archers, and I spot something now here. This is a small fort here by Goku, which then again does not seem to have a lot of future. There's Gary right there. He was able to kill the villagers. He killed a couple of monks as well. So all the help that is going to come in the next few minutes is going to be from Dogon. Fire trying to do what he has to do, running away with a couple of villagers, because he does know that his base will be completely lost around here. He's still got quite a nice population, to be honest. 52, so it looks like he will be having a couple of fishing boats in the water. Let's see how the fight goes here for the Argentinians. Couple of mangonels still alive from Nikov. Goku is there with a couple of knights. Dogon is there with a couple of plumed archers. But this has been quite a huge blow here by Fire. Fire by far the one with the lowest population. You can check populations anytime you want, guys. Right here on the right side, the last number of the score indicates the population for each player. You can see Fire here at the bottom with 52. Quite hard for him. And let's try to take a look what are the other players going to do. Looks like Riot once more was quite able to keep the control over the water. He's got a couple of war galleys here. He wants to make sure that nothing is going to be done here at the front of this island. Maybe he wants to sort of crush here down the south side of the island. I will assume that at some time he will go there with a couple of galleys as well. I do have to wonder what Fire was doing there with that lonely villager. Probably he just lost it at this very moment, and trying to run away with all the villagers is Fire here. I think that is indeed quite the only option at this point. He does not have a chance to save his base right here. It's quite dead, to be fair. Only Dogon is there with a couple of plumed archers to try and scout a little bit from what is happening here. We'll try to see where he's going to place his TC. Probably not enough resources for the TC at this point. He's dropping a lumber camp at this very moment. So nice advantage here for the Argentinians. Let's see if they will be able to capitalize on this very important advantage that they have at this point. Gary on his way to Imperial Age, and as far as I can see, there's no Brazilian who was able to click to Imperial Age indeed. So looks like it's all on Gary here. Even though looks like Goku is going to have a couple of a sneak here. Let's go into his point of view and try to understand if he, even though let's just actually stay on the point of view of the Argentinians. Let's see if they will be able to spot what's happening here. There's an outpost, but that is from Goku. Yeah, Goku dropping a castle. I do like this, but I would have wished that that castle would actually be a little bit more forward somewhere around here. I know he's very scared that indeed that will be detected, but so far it does not seem like that was the case. The Argentinians were not able to spot this castle here from Goku. Let's see if he will be able to do anything funny with that castle. They're still going here trying to do a little bit of raiding with a couple of plumed archers. Just last one was able to kill a couple of villagers right there. This is actually a nice position here to kill more villagers from FedEx. And judging by the army composition of Gary was the first one to get to Imperial Age. Looks like he will be using the Elite Eagle Warriors. He's got them coming. Here they are, Elite Eagle Warriors from the Mayans. Very strong unit composition, and just as we said before, Riot was able to clean the whole water on the south as well. So Dogon doing everything he can with those couple of plumed archers. They are +2. He really needs to kill all the villagers he can before Gary comes in with a couple of elite eagle warriors. He's researching the last armor upgrade, as you can see here at the top right side of my overlay. That indicates what kind of researches are being made. They're gonna try to go back to the galleys of his teammate to make sure he doesn't lose all of those plumed archers. So actually, nice job here. Taking a look once more here what is happening on the north side. This is quite indeed a very nice castle here from Dogão. Needs to make sure that that passage is going to be controlled by the Brazilian team, and keeping in mind that Rio has got the whole control of the water with the war galleys. Looks to me like they will be able to hold for quite a long time here, because the Argentinians do not have any sort of control from the water, so their only chance of actually doing something on the North Island would be to use a transport ship and trying to land with a couple of villagers or a little bit of army. Indeed, Riot will make sure that nothing is gonna pass through. He needs to make sure he doesn't lose all of his war galleys there to those mangonel from Nikov. Looks like the game is speeding up a little bit for me. I will slow it back down. Dogão doing everything he can here. He's got quite a nice amount of plumed archers, to be fair. I'm not sure if those are going to be enough against these elite eagle warriors from Gary. Yeah, looks like the 8's going to be enough. So Gary won't be able to get in inside the north side of the map. There's no chance for him to get in there. It looks like in the right side of the map, nothing has been tried. I will go back to the sneak here from Goku. Goku was able to lay down 2 castles, but do keep in mind he's not quite Imperial just yet, so Gary will be able to just snipe them down with no problem whatsoever. He's got a couple of trebuchets right there. He'll be shooting down those castles like if there's no tomorrow. FedEx is helping him with a couple of trebuchets of his own. So it looks like this forward from Goku indeed was not very successful one. And do keep in mind that Fire's still in a very tough position here. He's only on 47 population. No way to go to Castle H. We'll take a look if he is indeed trying to sling his teammates. Let's take a look. Yeah, nope, he's not slinging. He's receiving a sling from Dogão, as far as I can see. Probably that was a sling for the TC or something of that sort. Indeed, looks like Riot does not have enough war galleys anymore to try and stop what Nikov has got here and what Gary has got here. Those are 3 trebuchets. That castle will go down quite early. Does not seem like Dogão will have the chance to keep it alive. There's 3 trebuchets shooting at it. So Dogão will indeed lose that castle, and this could be quite dangerous for the Brazilians right here. Once the castle is down, there's not much protecting that passage right there. He needs to concentrate a little bit on the gate. Make sure there's a passage for him. Looks like we'll try to sort of focus here on the right side of the walls. That is indeed his option. Take a look here at what is happening on the land side of the Argentinians. The forward is quite gone, as we just suspected here. I see a couple of flares happening here from the Argentinian team indeed. Looks like Gary wants to go in here. There are walls from Goku, but to be fair, looks like Juan has got a couple of war galleys here, so he could actually try to prevent any villager that would come close to try and stop the walls. I do wish he would concentrate on the walls, and Juan too. Juan does need it, but he's bringing a transport ship, so it looks like they want to get rid of this really fast. If the transport ship is there, Juan is going to bring those elite eagle warriors into the north side of the island, the Brazilian side of the island, to be honest. And when that happens, those villagers, those eagle warriors will be able to do so much damage, even though looks like the perfect reaction is taking place here by Goku. Goku was able to spot that just on time, laying down a couple of stone walls. He really needs to be fast with this. Looks like he won't be quite fast enough to stop this, or will he? That boar was just delaying him a little bit. No sir, no sir, that's not gonna happen. Gary is in, and I don't think he will be able to close this side as well. So the walls are down for the Brazilian team. The walls are down. Gary's just completely free to walk in. He needs to make sure that Goku is actually not able to close that gap as well. Yeah, he was not watching this. He was not watching this, so he was not able to kill those villagers. Looks like he wants to concentrate a little bit more here on the north side. In the meanwhile, something I apparently missed here, there was a sneak from Nikov. Nikov has got a couple of stables here. He's got Cavalier. He does not have Paladin. He is a Chinese, but he will be able to do a whole lot of damage right here. This is a very hard spot here for the Brazilian team. Do keep in mind that Gary will be going in with those elite eagle warriors anytime soon as well. He's got a couple of rams There he is. A couple of ramps are there, so there's nothing that Goku could actually do to try and stop this raid here. Nikov with 4 stables pumping. This is going to be so hard on Goku here. Goku suffering a little bit when it comes to the population. You can take a look. It's 120 villagers for Goku. There's not much he can do, so it's all on Riot and all on Dogon to try to stop and contain the damage here being done by the Argentinians. Looks like over there here in the left side of the island, nothing major was able to happen. Nice attempt there by Fire with the demo ship. Looks like nothing major here happened. 2 Cavalier go down. Those all seem to be enough at this very moment, so let's concentrate on what is happening right here on the right side. More Cavalier, a whole lot of Elite Eagle Warriors coming in as well. I don't see a whole lot of walls here, so I think that Nikov needs to first try to mass a couple more Cavaliers. It looks to me like he did do the damage on Goku. He needs to mass a little bit more of Cavaliers and then try to move on to the other players on the Brazilian side. Dogon with a very nice amount of plumed archers right here. Those are elite. Those have got the 5+3. Looks like he's only missing the chemistry at this point. But this is just such a hard spot here for Goku. Goku will be dropping population. There's so many Elite Eagle Warriors here from Gary. There are a couple of Cavalier. Those Elite Eagle Warriors have got the 100 HP. Such an important upgrade. So this is Dogon needing to stop this raid on his own. 1v2 here. Fire will not be helping his teammates anytime soon. He's still on Castle Age, 54 population. No chance. Riot tries to come in with a couple of villagers, a couple of stables. It's left to see if that is going to be enough to try and contain the damage here. Gary dangerously moving in with more Elite Eagle Warriors and nothing to stop here. Those plumed archers from Dogon, I'm afraid, are not going to be enough once the Cavalier from Nikov come into play. And indeed, here he is, Nikov. Nikov with the 2+4 Pierce armor. Looks like they didn't communicate too well here. They wanted to attack this together. Let's take a look at what is Gary going to be able to do here on the base of Dogon as well. So Dogon will start hurting as well. Looks like the trade will be hurting as well because there's no chance this market will stay alive. FedEx with a whole lot of paladins coming into the island as well, and I'm afraid this is going to be the final blow for the Brazilians. There's no chance that the Brazilians can stop those paladins from FedEx. Those are a whole lot of paladins. Taking a look at my dashboard, those are 60 paladins from FedEx, and I don't see any halberdiers, and plumed archers are certainly not going to be able to tackle those paladins. Maybe the paladin incoming from Riot will be enough, but Riot does not seem to have the numbers to match that at this moment. It's 12 units only. 62 units from FedEx. And there's no chance for Goku to try and wall this more. Gary keeps coming in with a couple more of Elite Eagle Warriors. More paladins here from FedEx. Goku hurting so much for population. Only 100 at this moment. Such a low population from him. More raiding here from Gary. Nice job. In my opinion, the only thing missing at this point are siege rams. And you would have to assume FedEx, or, to be fair, all of them have got siege rams at this point, or they have available siege rams for them. Yeah, they will be able to break this walls with no problem. Paladins, Cavalier will be going in with no problem here into the base of Goku. Very hard spot here for the Brazilians. Hard to think of a way for them to come back from this. They're doing everything they can. Spamming a couple of bomber towers is Goku here. He's got a couple of villagers trying to do that. But the population is just so low for him. It looks like Riot himself was not able to get to those 200 population. The paladins are on the way. There will be, well, looks to me like the paladin upgrade is now finished for Riot. And the numbers are not quite they could be in his favor at this moment, so it looks like this fight could indeed go in favor of Riot right here in the middle of the base. Unfortunate for him, looks like Juan is moving in with a couple of galleons, and they are 8+3. They are only missing the chemistry that is being done by now. We can take a look at the top right side, but the fight goes indeed in favor of Riot. So nice job here by the Brazilians. Looks like they are trying to contain the damage as hard as they can. So far, looks like there's no huge advancement here from the Argentinians. Once more, I feel like there's only siege missing. I feel like there's a couple of siege rams missing here. Gary has got 2 of them. Those are not siege rams being done, though, as you can take a look here at the right side once more of my dashboard. A couple more villagers, a couple more siege workshops to make sure that they can spam those rams, and that could indeed mean trouble for the Brazilians. In the meanwhile, looks like this is Nikov here with the Chinese trying to break through the left side. Hard to think someone could stop him. That was a very nice here heavy demo ship from Persian. That's weird, but he's got a couple of Chukonus. Those Chukonus will be able to tackle those heavy demo ships, but he needs to go back. If indeed he managed to land a shot there, that could be so bad for Nikov. Looks like he was trying to dodge those shots. Looks like he was able to actually do it really nicely. He didn't lose a whole lot of them. Well, even though those were like 6 or 7, it's a nice job here by Riet with those heavy demolition ships. Couple of galleons here on the way from Fire, so Fire looks like he will be able to protect the passage right here for the Brazilian team on the left side. Nice job here for the Brazilians, holding to the game for as long as possible. We'll take a look once more at what's happening here on the right side, and indeed, it's not looking too bad anymore here from the Brazilians. Quite impressive. Looks like Dogon and Riet were able to contain the damage. Goku is still quite hurting, that's true, but indeed he's got a whole lot of bomber towers, he's got a whole lot of Chukonus. Those are not elite just yet, but the numbers do seem to me like they are in favor of the Brazilians here. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of paladins here from Riet. He needs to wait for Dogon to come in with those plumed archers. Yeah, Dogon indeed was not quite at the perfect spot right there. He's shooting from the back. This is where I would have wished for Gary to actually have plumed archers, because plumed archers are so strong against those elite eagle warriors. This is going to be a very important fight. I'm not sure that Goku is going to be able to keep that castle up. He needs to rely on one of his teammates to actually try to destroy one of those trebuchets. No, he's keeping it up. He's keeping it up. And taking a look, it looks like Dogon and Riet were able to clean all of what the Argentinians had right there on the right side. It's a really amazing job here from Riet and Dogon, holding on to this game, and a whole lot of plumed archers still on the way, and there's not many paladins left here from FedEx, so it looks to me like this fight will go heavily in favor of the Brazilians. Unbelievable, unbelievable comeback right here in this game, and there it is. The trebuchets are going to be down. The castle is still up here from Goku. What an amazing game so far. What an amazing game. And these are so many plumed archers here from Dogon. Looks like this push is pretty much GG here from the Argentinians. They need to gather back once more and try to recollect a little bit of army. Going back, here they are. Incredible job here by the Brazilians. Especially incredible job by Dogon and Riet. How were they able to actually keep that alive is beyond me. Really nice job here. But once more, they need to be careful. On the left side, looks like Juan has gained the control over the water, so it looks like Fire is still not quite able to match the numbers of Juan at this point. We can take a look at the dashboard. Dashboard telling me 35 units, 83 units for Juan. So Juan indeed has got the control of the water at this point, so that means that the left side could be pushed here by the Argentinians. They've got a whole lot of siege rams. A couple of mangonels are on the way to try to stop them. A couple of walls are going up here from Riet to make sure they won't go far as well. So nice job here for the Brazilians, trying to hold on to this game for as long as possible. And the team score indeed does seem to be quite even at this very moment. It's 11,000 against 10,000 score. The Brazilians really did an incredible job here on a 3v2 situation to hold on to this game. Incredibly done by the Brazilians, to be fair. And oh my god, look at this. Look at what Dogon is doing. Dogon is just playing like a beast in the same time that he was able to clean everything on the right side. He's indeed trying to kill the trade as well. And I don't see any units here from the Argentinians to actually try to stop that. So Dogon is going to be able to kill so many trade cards right here. Looks like those castles were not quite at the perfect spot. Really nice job here by Dogon. There's nothing stopping him from just purely obliterating all those trade cards. Looks like Fire is even going to try and wall the trade, and that would be quite a nice thing for him. He doesn't look like he will be on time here. There's a couple of paladins on the way from FedEx, and I have to think that those are going to be enough to stop them if Fire is not able to close that on time, as indeed he is not. But this is quite a narrow spot here, so maybe Dogon can still kill a couple of trade cards before his plumed archers actually die. On the passage right here on the left side, looks like nothing major was what's really happening here. A couple of siege rams are there for Nikov. Nikov still desperately trying to get in. This is Dogon really needing to be careful of those onagers. He does have the onager upgrade, but Juan is there with a whole lot of galleons. Those galleons are fully upgraded by now. It's a 8+4 attack. They've got the armor upgrade as well, so looks like here could be indeed a very hard spot for the Brazilians. Looks to me like they need to concentrate a little bit more here on the left side. Looks like this is Fire trying to move in on the water. They desperately need to regain the control on the water. Fire still does not seem to quite match the numbers from Juan. So let's see if he will be able to stop that. A couple of paladins on the way from Rio Madrid will be able to take down all of those rams with no problem if indeed he wants to. They try to push at the same time right here on the right side. A couple more bombard towers here. Looks like those walls are sort of delaying them a little bit. Goku does want to have those trebuchets in here as fast as possible. Those walls from Gary being quite annoying at this point for him. Let's once more take a look at what's happening here on the left side. Looks like this is Juan. Juan should actually have a lot more army as far as I can tell. He's got 67 units, 67 galleons, and Fire only on 46 at this point. Those rams were trying to do the job. It's a nice idea here for the Argentinians. It looks like Fire indeed is moving in, while Juan does need to wait a little bit longer for the other galleons to come in. It looks like he is raiding a little bit right here on the left side. Was indeed able to kill a whole lot of villagers right there, as you can see. So nice job by Juan, but I do wish that he would just concentrate here on the middle to make sure that the Brazilians won't be able to push from this side right here. The trebuchets are on the right spot right now. There's 3 of them, there's 4 of them, to be honest. They will start shooting at those castles. And hard to see what do the Argentinians have prepared to stop this. I only see a couple of elite plumed archers. I'm not sure if those are actually going to be enough against those paladins from Ried, against those Chuko Nus from Goku, which at this point are a very decent amount. It's 70 Chuko Nus, as you can see here on my dashboard. And I do wish that the Argentinians bring more army, otherwise this is Gary that could be in a very tough situation here. He's quite low population, to be fair, only 130. Taking a look once more what's happening here on the left side. Looks like Fire. Indeed, he's doing quite a nice job here on the water. He will try to engage here, and he will be able to kill those galleons from Juan. Juan heavily outnumbered at this point. It's a nice job here by Fire. He was able to recover, and indeed, he might just be able to take the control back from the water. And this are those trebuchets keeping firing at the castle. That castle is going to go down. Once more, I also would wish that the Brazilians would have a couple of siege rams here. Maybe at some point Goku will be bringing them in. That castle is going to fall. It's only Gary trying to defend this alone here. I do wonder where is... Yeah, I was wondering where was Nikov's army. It looks like Nikov went for water. He switched for water. I sort of have to question this decision. I'm not sure if that is indeed the right option at this moment. They're going to be pushed here on land, and at this moment I only see Gary with a couple of units, even FedEx. Where are his paladins? He does have a 30 military count, but I don't see his paladins at this very moment. Only this gate is missing here from Gary, and once that gate is gone, this could mean real trouble here for the Argentinians. They need to destroy this gate as soon as possible to make sure they can run in before Nikov is able to kill a whole lot of units right there. This is open, and this is Riot going in with the paladins. Gary needs to try to stop by walling right here on the right side. I'm not sure. Is he going to be able to do that on time? I'm not sure. Sending in more villagers. Maybe, yeah. The right side is still open, but nice job here. He was able to indeed wall everything. So this is the Brazilians that need to come in with a couple more of trebuchets. Here they are, trebuchets. I wish for them they would have siege rams there as well. Goku's got a couple of villagers. He desperately wants to have them there in order to make a couple of siege workshops, but in the meanwhile, looks like they were able to just purely go in. FedEx has got a couple of paladins. I'm not sure if those are going to be enough, especially considering how many Chukonus they've got right here. These are a whole lot of Chukonus. Looks like they want to go back to make sure that Riot can actually go in and start tackling the army of FedEx, and FedEx cannot match the army of Riot and Goku and Dogao at the same time. So indeed, this is not looking very good for the Argentinians at this point, and you have to think this was quite of a throw. They had such a nice advantage early on into the game. Really weird for me. How were they able to throw this game off? That castle will be gone here by Gary, that's for sure. And it's only a 3v2 situation here. It's only FedEx and Gary with armies on the land. And we've got Dogao, we've got Goku, and we've got Riot with armies here on the land. That means that the trade, if it still exists, it does still exist here. The trade will be gone very soon. They still have a whole lot to push, but I really don't see any army, any kind of army here that will be able to stop this at this point. Only thing missing, in my opinion, are once more those siege rams. Siege rams are missing here for the Brazilians, in my opinion. Goku seems to be concentrating on the bomber towers at this point. Take a look at what's happening on the left side. Still trying to push right there from the left side. There's the army from Juan, there's the army from Nikov. But that seems to be very well defended with a castle from Dogao right there. Fire indeed seems to have quite a nice amount of galleons. He needs to go back a little bit though. He's fighting two armies. He won't be able to tackle this on his own. He needs to go back a slightly bit. And once more, let's try to understand what's happening right here on the south. Sort of stopping a little bit. They want to take care of this castle here before actually committing to a heavier push right here on the Gary side, on the right side of the map here for the Argentinians. And once more, really hard to understand how could they stop this at this point. Very good thing going here for Gary. He seems to be on a hill, so that castle can actually survive quite a long time. Yeah, and I really have to wonder why isn't Goku, or why isn't Riot, or why isn't Dogao making siege rams. I reckon with siege rams this push would go forward so much faster, because do keep in mind Mayans are really struggle against siege rams. There's not really much they can do. Indeed, there's paladins from FedEx, but there are paladins from Riot as well. So siege rams looks to me like that would be the key to keep this forward, to keep this rush alive here on the right side of the map. Trying to follow a little bit what's happening here on the north side. Trying to take a look at the trade. Looks like both teams have got quite a nice amount of trade, to be fair. I see a lot of trade cards going back and forth right here by both teams. So it's all on FedEx and all on Gary to try to stop this push here. That castle seems like it will fall. That's not much that Gary can do against it at this point. Goku was able to take the hill right here, and by doing that he will be able to have so much more firepower on those trebuchets, and indeed the castle is down. Slowly but surely they're gaining terrain here on the side of the map, and once more it's only FedEx and only Gary with armies at this point. They will be fighting 3 armies from their Brazilians, so really tough spot here by the Argentinians. Looks like Fire is able to sort of contain what was happening on the water. They're still trying to push from here with those galleons. I need to question this. I would much rather have Nikov try to make land army, or at least Juan does not make sense, but yeah, I wish Nikov was trying to make army on the land, because I don't think that his teammates will be able to hold this push. They're doing whatever they can to stop it, but at the end of the day, it's still going to be a 3 versus 2 situation here, so really hard to understand how could they stop this at this point. More bombard towers, more trebuchets. It's like FedEx trying to gather a very nice amount of paladins here at this point. We've got 44 paladins for Riot. FedEx is on 43, so roughly the same amount, but that is not going to be enough considering how well Chukunus fare against paladins. Those incredibly strong Chukunus, 8+6 attack firepower. Very strong units indeed. They are able to tackle paladins if they manage to get a nice position at attacking them. And indeed, the next castle is going to fall here for the Argentinian team. Looks like we've got here Nikov trying to defend with a couple of bombard towers to make sure the push for the Brazilians would be a lot slower. Let's see if that is going to hold for a little bit longer, but does not look like it could be the case. Once more here on the left side, not much is happening. Fire sort of trying to regain the full control of the water. He still wasn't quite able to do that. It does look to me that at some point he will, especially if Nikov decides to stop pushing on the water and tries to help his teammates right here on the land. Quite an impressive amount here of plumed archers, quite an impressive amount of Chukonus as well. This could be indeed a very nice option here for the Chinese. Chinese is going for siege rams, and he's going for heavy scorpions and onagers as well. Do keep in mind, Chinese do not have siege onagers, but they do still have the onagers, so maybe that is going to be able to hold them on for a little bit longer. That castle is going to fall, that's for sure. Trying to gather a little bit more army here. FedEx, once more, 56 paladins. Seems to be winning by a margin, by quite a large amount here over Riot. Riot with only 35 units at this point, but once more, Dogon doing what he has to do, raiding the trade, and this time in game, the Argentinians call it the GG. They had no chance to stop those plumed archers, and what a game that was, guys. What a game that was. At some point in game, it looked to me like the Argentinians had the advantage, clearly had the advantage, somehow managed to throw that away. They were not able to push 3v2 onto Riot and Dogon. So incredible performance here by Riot, and especially incredible performance by Dogon. Really, really well done here by the Brazilian team. Let's go back, fix the scoreboard. And it's a 2-0 score favoring the Brazilians.